Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be doing a noob's guide on how to kill Zulrah. Now, why would you kill Zulrah? Well, there are some very good rewards, high value rewards, and honestly the drop rates are pretty decent. So there's a good chance you're going to hit one of them within a decent kill count. But let's jump straight into the requirements. So for the requirements, the only actual requirement you need to kill Zulrah is partial completion of the quest Regicide up until the point when you get to the Tyrus camp. Now, to do this quest, there is some sub-quests you need to complete. These include Underground Pass, Biohazard, Plague City, and skills you need 10 crafting and 56 agility. So for the recommended, now the only things I'd recommend is having as high a range and as high a magic level as possible. The higher your levels, the faster you're going to be able to kill Zulrah, and especially when you're learning, you definitely want to minimize going through multiple rotations. Keeping it at just one will help you massively, and the key to this is having as high a DPS as possible. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up all of the requirements. So for the location, Zulrah is located in Zolandria. Now there's a few different ways to get there, the best being the Zolandria teleport scroll. This gets you directly there, a short run to the boss. The next best way would probably be the fairy ring with the code BJS. An easy way to remember that is Big Giant Snake. And along with this, you're going to need 76 agility to hop over from the island. Now the only other way to get there is using the charter ship. However, this is quite a long run, so I would avoid this if you can. So next we're going to go over the gear setups. And there's a few different ways you can go. There is a mage only, a range only, and a switch. So first off, we're going to be going over the mage only. Now for the mage gear, basically you want the best in slot in everything. If you can't afford that, then you just go down to the next best. So instead of ancients, you go down to Arams. If you can't do that, then go down the mystics. I have got the Serp helm on, and I do recommend doing this as a beginner because it means you don't have to bring anti-venoms, and it makes it a little bit more simpler, even though it does decrease your DPS, but it's not a lot. And the Ring of Suffering imbued. Now, if you can't afford that, you can obviously go down to the Ring of Recoils, but make sure you bring a couple of them because they can run out. I will be going over why these are required later on in the video. For the weapon, obviously the harmonized Nightmare Staff is the best in slot. If you can't afford that, then you can go down to the Sang Staff or one of the Tridents. And if you really had to, you can go down to the Iban Staff. And it is a very viable weapon and does pretty well here. So for the range only method, setup wise, it is exactly the same. The best in slot in range. However, you can obviously downgrade it down to Blessed Dehyde or even Black Dehyde if you really had to. Again, Ring of Suffering, can downgrade it to the Ring of Recoils if you had to. So weapon wise, the best in slot is the Twisted Bow, and it will absolutely destroy Zulrah. However, if you can't afford that because it is a very expensive item, the Bow of Ferrodinin is very, very good with the Crystal Armor setup. That will do very good work here. If you can't afford them, then you're going to have to go down to the Blowpipe. However, with the nerf, the DPS has been reduced significantly with this, so it might not do you that well. You're probably better off going for the mage only if this is your only option. Now, by far the best option is the range and mage switch. This is pretty simple. You just want a mixture of range and mage, the best in slot items, and just bring as many switches as you're comfortable with using. If it's 4, then 4 is more than enough. If it's 8, then take 8 items. So for the inventory, basically I just have 2 or 3 prayer potions, your attack potion, so I've got a divine ranging potion, and then pretty much just a bunch of mantle rays and some cooked Quam bronze, just for a little bit of tick eating in case we need to during the fights. If you're going with the gear switches, then obviously you can take out some of the mantle rays and replace them with the items you're going to be switching with. And if you're going to be using the Serpentine Helm, then you can remove the anti-venom, but don't forget to bring an anti-venom if you are going with a best in slot helmet. If you're not going with the Ring of Suffering and you go for the Ring of Recoils, don't forget to bring a couple extra in case it runs out of charges mid-fight. And for the rune pouch, you're going to want to go for Earth runes, Astral runes and Death runes so you can cast some Vengeance and get a little bit more DPS on the boss. So a little rundown of the boss. Zulrah has a combat level of 725. Now there are 3 different forms which change throughout the fight, and the way this fight works is based off of a series of rotations. There are 4 of them in total and they are completely random. So the 4 different rotations are on the screen at the moment. I will leave a link in the comments to where you can actually download one of these so you can have it maybe loaded up alongside your client. However, there is a Runelite helper which I'm going to go over a little bit more detail in a bit, where it makes it a lot more easier to use these rotations on screen. But yeah, basically the 4 rotations, there's no easy way around it. You will kind of have to learn it to get Zulrah down, and it does take a long time. It took me around about 60 to 70 kills to remember the rotation, but after a while you kind of get into the swing of things and you really do pick it up. Like, I've done no Zulrah for probably 4 or 5 months, and I was able to jump straight back in, and I can't remember the rotations, but I just know the feel of the fight and sort of where to move. So you do definitely pick up on it. It just takes a lot of time and practice. So we're going to have a little look at the boss now, the different forms and the different attacks, starting with the green ranged serpentine phase. This attacks with range, and they look and sound like this. So for the serpentine phase, you're going to want to be praying range because that's the only one he's attacking you with. And you're also going to want to be attacking him with magic if possible, because he is weak to magic. So for the blue / turquoisey purple Tanzanite phase, he does attack with magic and range. The range is the same as we've just seen, but the magic looks and sounds like this. Due to the high accuracy of his magic attacks, you're going to want to pray mage to really get the most protection, and you're going to want to keep a high HP in case he combos you. Now, he is weak to range, so using range on him is going to be best here. For the orange / magma phase, he attacks you with a non-protectable melee, which will also stun you when it hits you. This looks and sounds like this. So when it comes to this attack, you don't actually have to pray anything, because you can just move to avoid it or stand in certain safe spots to avoid all damage. And he is weak to magic, more so than range, although he is quite hard to get some hits off on. So now we're going to go over the boss's special attacks. Now there are 3 of these, and we're going to start with the snakelings attack. This looks and sounds like this. Basically, he spawns 3 snakes. These can deal up to 15 damage. However, these only have 1 hit point. So wearing either the Ring of Recoil or the Ring of Suffering, as soon as one of these hit you, they will automatically die. Throughout the fight, he will also spawn Venom Clouds. These look like this, and the way to avoid these is standing in the certain areas it tells you to in the rotations, and you will completely avoid any damage from these. And the last special attack is the Jad phase. At one point through the rotation, he will do an alternative attack, so he will attack you with either starting with range or mage, and then every attack will change to the opposite. So it'll go mage to range, back to mage, and then back to range, and so forth until he changes to the next phase. So I'm going to quickly go over the Runelite plugin, which can really help you with the rotations. So the way to get this is you're going to want to go onto your settings, and then you're going to want to go onto the plugin hub, and then from the plugin hub you can type in Zulrah, and the Zulrah plugin, as you can see, I've already got it, so you're just going to want to install that, and then you have access. The way to bring up the Zulrah plugin is when you get close to the area, it will actually come up straight away like so. So now I've got close, it comes up on the right hand side, and this is super easy to work with. So straight away, you know, the very first phase always starts off with the green Tanzanite one, and then after that it goes either to a melee, a range, or a mage. Now if you click either the range or mage, that is straight away one of the rotations, and you know exactly which one you're on. If it is the melee one, now there is actually 2 rotations that start off with this, but they then do change when it gets to phase 4. So when you're on phase 4 and you see the first green one, depending on whether he's at the middle or whether he's on the right side, you can then select that one, and then straight away you get the rotation. Now the way this works is it shows you the X of where you're actually going to be standing, and then green of what the colour the actual Zulrah is going to be. So obviously green, he's going to be in his range phase, blue in his mage phase, red in his melee phase, and the X just marks where you're going to want to be standing, and it pretty much tells you all the way down, even to the Jad phase. The first colour is what you're going to want to be praying against first, and then the blue obviously just means that it's a Jad phase. So for this one, you're going to want to go range, and then after he attacks you with range, straight away you're going to want to pray mage, back to range, back to mage. So if we then get to the end of the rotation, you're then going to want to reset it, and you can start again from scratch. It is pretty simple, to be honest, and you can't really go wrong. Like I said, if it's one of the other ones, it'll go straight away into the rotation, tells you where to go, and yeah, it's extremely simple. So before I go into a full in-depth fight, I'm going to go over a couple tips which I think could really help you out. Now, my first tip is to keep hit points above 60 during the blue mage phase or the Tanzanite phase. This is because he can obviously switch to range and his hits can hit up to 41, and you could also get comboed out by one of the snakelings, so keeping it around about 60 hit points should keep you relatively safe. Now, the only other tip I can give you is practice makes perfect. You're going to need a lot of patience. It is definitely going to take a long while because there's a lot of different rotations, but you will get there. My memory is absolutely shot. I'm horrible at remembering stuff, and I was able to learn it around about 50 to 70 kills in. So you will get there. It just takes a lot of patience, and the Zulrah helper on Runelite definitely helps you out massively with that. So yeah, that is all my tips. Let's run into a full boss fight. So I'm going to run you through a full Zulrah kill now. I'm going to be using the T-bow range only method, mainly because it makes it a little bit easier for me to talk you through it and what's going on. As you can see, I've also got the Zulrah helper up. So this plugin kicks in as soon as you're close to Zulrah. And yeah, let's jump straight into it and I'll show you what to do. So I'm going to quick board the boat. I'm also going to then sip my divine ranging potion, and we're going to make our way over to the corner where it shows you on the screen. I'm going to pray rigor and I'm going to attack Zulrah. You get roughly 4 attacks off before the first phase, and this is where you're going to want to select it on the Zulrah helper. So there we go, he dips down and it is melee, so it's either A or B. 2, and after 2 attacks you're going to want to then move like so, and then it's mage phase, and on the next phase we can see where the range phase is going to be, and then we can choose where we're going depending on that. But we do have to move around to this corner, so we're going to change the range and we're going to select where he was, and now we've got the full phase in action, and we can see exactly where we need to stand, what's coming next, and sort of plan ahead. So next we're going to go into the melee phase. For this we don't have to pray anything, but we can keep our rigor on because we want to get as much damage to him as possible. And next will be mage phase, still standing here. So mage, switch to your ranging gear if you're doing switches. Obviously you're going to keep a close eye on this. Always keep high health because the snakelings can combo you out. And now it's range and we want to move over to this other side. I'm kind of a little bit slow on that, but it doesn't matter. You can take a little bit of damage here and there. It doesn't matter too much. After this we're going to have a mage phase over here. Mage phase, I'm going to heal up because I'm getting a little bit low on health, and obviously the snakelings can combo me out. And you're going to want to make your way over to this corner now. Keep your prayers high because you've got the Jad phase coming in a second. Keep your health high as well. And it is starting with range. And then every attack you want to then switch prayers. As soon as you see it come out of his mouth, switch to the range, switch to the mage, switch to the range, and so forth. If you take any damage, doesn't matter too much here. Don't forget the vengeance up as well. And it looks like we've got him dead. Beautiful stuff. And that is our first kill. I'm going to run you through a couple more just to hopefully get another rotation going. So we're going to reset the helper. There we go. And we're going to start a new kill. Move over to corner number 1. Get our rigger on and start attacking Zulrah. 2, 3, and then on the 4th one he's going to dip down, and this time we got the range, so you can select the range and you know exactly what the rotation is straight away. Now on the Zulrah helper, it's actually saying to oh, I avenged on a snakeling, that's a bit pointless. It actually says to go into that corner down there, but I found you can actually stay in this corner, which is, yeah, a little bit easier, I guess. Then he stays on the melee phase for quite a while now. So you want to make sure you're healed up nicely. Try and get as much damage off as you can, but this is his hardest form to really hit through. Mage. I didn't get my mage prayer on properly then, so I'm taking more damage than I need to. Keep an eye on, because obviously there is snakeling still, and you can get comboed out easy. Next is the range phase. You're going to want to stand here still. And then mage phase over there. Just be careful, make sure your prayers are nice and topped up. And now you're going to want to come over into this corner. He actually doesn't hit you in this phase, so you can keep doing damage to him. Alright, I don't want to kill him too fast, but obviously I've got to be careful of the snakelings as well. Alright, now you're going to want to pray range. And next you're going to want to move over to that corner over there. Move to the other side, pray mage. I'm not going to do any more damage to him because I'm killing him too fast. Going to heal up nicely low. There we go, you can see you can take damage here, which is really annoying. Staying on this side, we've got the Jad phase, but starting on mage this time. So he's going to hit me with mage. Range. Keep switching. Every time you see that come out of his mouth, switch prayers. Really, really simple, to be honest. And there we go, another one down. But you basically just follow this all the way through. When you get to the bottom, then you're going to want to start again, and so forth. It is as simple as that, and hopefully you get lucky and get some uniques. So yeah, I hope this video helped you out. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. I'll try my best to answer as many as I can. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It helps the channel out massively. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.